Most people are never going to become who they say they want to become. Not because they can't, because they're addicted to comfort, excuses, distraction, and emotional weakness, and they call all of it being realistic. That's the truth. People love pretending they're trapped by circumstances when most of them are trapped by their own pathetic standards. Look at the average person honestly. Constant scrolling, constant complaining, constant consuming, constant fantasizing about a different life while protecting every habit destroying it. And then they say things like, "I'm trying." No, you're not. You're rehearsing self-deception so often that it sounds normal in your own head now. Because if somebody was truly serious about changing their life, their behavior would look violent compared to the average person. Their focus would change, their standards would change, their environment would change, their discipline would change. But most people want transformation without sacrifice, power without pressure, confidence without discomfort, results without identity change. So instead, they set tiny little goals that keep their ego safe. That's what realistic goals really are most of the time: emotional protection plans. Goals carefully designed to avoid humiliation. Because if the dream stays small enough, nobody has to confront how weak their habits actually are. That's why people stay average for decades. Not because they lack potential, because they're emotionally attached to mediocrity. And the worst part? Most people already know this about themselves. They feel it every night when the distractions stop working. Every time they stare at the ceiling, wondering why they feel empty, even though nothing is technically wrong. Because your soul knows when you're wasting yourself, even if your excuses don't. There was a woman named Sienna, and Sienna had mastered the art of looking functional while mentally collapsing in slow motion. From the outside, she looked responsible. Steady job, predictable routines, bills paid on time, polite smile, exhausted eyes. But internally, she hated her own life. Not dramatically, quietly, which is worse, because quiet misery becomes routine. And routine is dangerous because eventually people stop questioning the cage they built around themselves. Sienna kept setting tiny goals because tiny goals allowed her to stay the same person. Read a little more, save a little money, wake up earlier, be more positive. Meaningless, because none of those goals demanded transformation. They just helped her decorate the prison more comfortably. And every night she would sit in the dark with that heavy feeling in her chest, that feeling people try to drown with entertainment, relationships, food, social media, shopping, alcohol, validation, anything. Because sitting alone with the truth is unbearable for people who know they're underperforming in their own life. And Sienna knew. She knew her procrastination was fear. She knew her distractions were avoidance. She knew her burnout was partly self-inflicted because she kept wasting energy on things that didn't matter. But like most people, she kept hiding behind someday. Someday she'd get serious. Someday she'd fully commit. Someday she'd stop sabotaging herself. Meanwhile, years disappeared. That's what people never understand about self-destruction. It rarely looks dramatic at first. Usually it looks like comfort, convenience, entertainment. Excuses repeated so often they start sounding intelligent. And one night, Sienna realized something horrifying. Nothing was coming to save her from herself. Not motivation, not timing, not another podcast, not another inspirational quote. not another healing era. Because the real problem was her identity. She had built an entire lifestyle around avoiding discomfort. That's when she stopped setting realistic goals. And the second she did that, her fake life became impossible to ignore. Suddenly, she saw everything clearly. The people making her smaller, the routines making her weaker, the habits keeping her average, the endless dopamine addiction destroying her focus, the emotional fragility she kept disguising as sensitivity. Impossible goals exposed all of it immediately. That's why average people hate massive goals. Not because they're unrealistic, because they force brutal self-awareness. They force you to ask, who would I need to become for this life to actually happen? And most people never ask that question honestly, because deep down they already know the answer. The current version of them would have to die. If this is hitting you hard right now, good. You're probably exhausted from being lied to by soft people pretending comfort is self-love. Like the video if you're finally tired of advice designed to keep people emotionally comfortable instead of honest. Because honesty sounds offensive to people addicted to excuses. Sienna finally understood that. She stopped waiting to feel ready, stopped negotiating with discipline, stopped worshiping her emotions every time discomfort appeared. And slowly, her entire life changed. Not because she became special, because she stopped behaving like an average person. That's the part nobody wants to hear. Extraordinary lives are usually built by people willing to tolerate levels of discomfort average people run from immediately. Meanwhile, most people are destroying their future for temporary emotional relief. Scrolling instead of building, avoiding instead of confronting, talking instead of executing, then crying about the outcome later. Your future is being built by your daily standards whether you admit it or not. And right now, most people's standards are pathetic. That's why their lives feel repetitive, because weak habits create repetitive futures. You already know what's ruining your life. You know the distractions. You know the excuses. You know the people. You know the behaviors. You just keep hoping you can keep all of them and somehow still become powerful anyway. That's delusion. Your life changes the second your standards become stronger than your addiction to comfort. Not before. So no, you're probably not stuck. You're overindulged, undisciplined, mentally weak, addicted to excuses, and still trying to negotiate your way around becoming the person your future actually requires. That's the truth. And the longer you avoid it, the more your life will continue shrinking into a repetitive loop of distraction, regret, and wasted potential. This is Savara, raw, unfiltered, brutally honest. The voice I write under when the truth doesn't need polishing. If this is the kind of content you need, it's because you don't need motivation. You need honesty. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to make sure you stop pretending you don't see it. What you do with it is your responsibility. If you're done acting like you're powerless, subscribe to Her Savage Energy, the shadow side of Dream with Intent. No pep talks, no emotional padding, just clarity and consequences. You already know what to do.